Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I did my best. I did my best for over a month now not to let something slip. But unfortunately, yesterday, I just had to let my secret out. So yesterday I went on live last night with my friend Tony from La Vida Loca. You know, we're best buds. We travel a lot together. I'm hoping we can travel a lot next year again. But Tony has to stay a little closer to home and everything because of some issues going on. He's moving his mom to Tampa. He's got some medical things trying to get done, and it's taking a while. He never knows when they're going to allow him to do it. So yeah, his long journeys might not happen, but some of our short cruises, I hope we can get together and do a bunch. But yesterday I put out a quick video telling everybody that we're going live tonight, and I said in the end of that video, I said, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Tony. I got a little bit of a bone to pick with him because, you know, something he's done kind of made my sister a little upset. And I forgot, we talked about it before the live stream went when we were chatting between each other. But we got so busy and so wrapped up in the hour, because the hour goes by really, really fast when you're talking about topics and trying to answer questions. It just zips by like this. But the bone I had to pick with him is when we were on the Caribbean Princess, our group cruise, I mentioned to him that, you know, it says, I'm still playing World of Warcraft with my sister. That's how we've been keeping in touch, right? Every night, 5 o'clock, without fail, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we're on World of Warcraft and we're playing together. And it's a great way to keep in touch, even if you don't, you know, you get those phone calls from family that are out of town, and, you know, you don't necessarily, like, can you call somebody who lives in another town, like 8 hours away, every single night and have something fresh to talk about every single day? Probably not. But because of the game, you know, we're on the chat with each other and we're playing the game, we're talking about the game, and then we'll bring up stuff like, hey, what do you got planned this weekend? Hey, what happened last night with this, etc., etc., etc. And it keeps the lines of communications open, and it's a great way for us to keep together. And now she's moving to Ottawa, so it's going to be a little easier. I can just go over and see her, which is a lot different than when she was in Nova Scotia for quite a while, and then still 8 hours away, the closest she's ever been to living near me since I was like 10. So there you go. But that was my bone, because Tony said, oh, I really miss playing World of Warcraft. And then he mentioned it to Jenny and said, oh, Jenny's really hyped to play too, looking really forward to it, because they're gamers. They like to play games. And so my sister and I said, oh, great. Hey, you know, he said he's going to start and load it up and everything. And I said, great. We created brand new characters so we can play with them. My sister's all excited because now we can group up and do all these things that you can't do with just 2 people, but you could do with 4. And yeah, it never materialized. We've yet to play a single game together. First of all, he had trouble with loading the game because he has an Apple, and it just doesn't work very well on an Apple computer. So yeah, that was my little bone that my sister said, you got to tell him I've been waiting to play with him. So that was it. Nothing major in life. But then we started talking on the live stream, and I've known for a while that Tony was a little suspect to something. I tried to keep it a secret as best I can, but I finally had to let it out of the bag. And well, here, I'll show you. I'll show you right here.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what your experience is like there. Is that going to be your last cruise for this year?
the Ascent, and then I'm leaving the Ascent. I'm taking the Bright Line Railway. Is it the Bright Line it's called?
Yep.
Down to Universal Studios. My friends that went to Jamaica and Disney are going to Universal. They asked me to tag along. So I'm there for 7 days. And then I'm jumping on another Princess ship going back out of Fort Lauderdale again. And then on the 12th, I fly back to Ottawa for Christmas. And then I'm heading to the Icon, to the Region 7 Seas, and then the Sun Princess, all back to back to back.
All right, so let's work the dates out. This is a Bruder film. That was the Kennedy assassination film. The 21st, you're going on the Ascent. Yeah. When does that end?
The Ascent ends on the 29th.
The 29th. Then you're going to Orlando. So you're going to go to Orlando on the Bright Line to Universal. And then when is that over?
That is over on the 5th.
Okay. So you're not coming on my Princess cruise. How dare you?
All right. Yes, I am.
That's right. Don's going to be on. I knew it. How about that?
So yeah, I will be back on the Caribbean Princess. December 3rd, I think we're going on it with Tony and Jenny. I think they have some family members on board as well, so it'll be a fun cruise. I also know that my friend Kevin, the cruise director, Kevin Tugwell, will be on board as well. And he's the one that I was on a back-to-back Alaska cruise, and I did not do so well on the first time playing the yes-no game show. In fact, he knocked me out in 11 seconds. 11 seconds he knocked me out. But because I was the worst player that day, I get to go up against him at the end and try and knock him out. And I was the first person to knock him out in months. So I was very proud of that I got him out of there. So we were kind of even on that one. But then on the next game, because it was back-to-back, so they had 2 yes-no game shows, and he knocked me out again with like, I think 35 seconds left to go before the 3 minutes were up. And he knocked me out on a weird question. He says, "Oh, Don, what made you start YouTube?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of a sad story. I came down with cancer, and I didn't know if I can go back to my job, so I had to transition to a new career, etc." And he goes, "Oh, well, I feel really bad now. I can't really knock you out." And I said, "Nope." Knocked myself out of the yes-no game show. And if you ever go back and take a look at that video, it's from a few years ago, but the expression on Kevin's face and how much he was laughing, guilty laughing, but he could not contain himself. It was one of the best, when you see somebody just break down laughing spontaneously, it's one of the best things in the world, right? When you see somebody laugh that they can't control their laugh, that they find it just so funny that tears are rolling down there, that was Kevin on the cruise. So yeah, Kevin, buddy, be prepared. I'm coming back, and it's round 4. You're up 2-1, I guess, because I knocked you out. I'm counting that as a win. So, but I'm still only, I think, 52-2. So I'm not doing very good in the yes-no game show. But hey, the good news is my last one on the Caribbean Princess against Sophie, I won. It's a very rare thing. So I'm feeling just a tad more confident. But yeah, I let it slip last night to Tony that I'm going to be on the cruise. I'm timing it. I'm trying to time this because it's one of those things you have to time, because I'm getting off a cruise ship. I'm not flying. I'm taking the train down, the new high-speed railway system. And if there's any delays on that, I only have like a 2-hour leeway. So it's a risky thing that I'm doing, but I think I can make it. Worst case scenario, if I can see there's a delay, I'll rent a car and drive at 100 miles an hour down the I-5 to get there. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting trip. Can't wait to get back on the Caribbean Princess. Had a great time when I was on it, and I can't wait for the rematch at the Yes No game show, and of course to see Jenny again. We haven't sailed together for a little while. Can't wait to see her one more time, and of course sailing with my buddy Tony. Well, I hope you appreciate this little update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world, and hey, a little bit of Universal Studios, a little bit about the brand new Celebrity Ascent that's coming out, and back on the Caribbean Princess. This time I'll have more time to actually film the ship and show you around, because I won't have 140 people on board with me in the group that I wanted to spend time with, because they were amazing. It was one of the best groups we've ever done. I can honestly say that from the bottom of my heart. And again, thanks to everybody who came. And again, thanks to everybody who signed up on next year's 2 group cruises. We're gonna have a blast.